Hey, what's up? In this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways to play the A major chord on the guitar. We're going to go over the open voicings as well as bar chords, and I'm going to show you what fingers to use and proper technique, because if you mess this up, your chords will perhaps be slow, the notes will ring out, and sometimes you get some pain in your hands, okay? So without further ado, let's jump into this. So to play the A major chord in open position, there's a couple fingerings, and this is the best one, and I'll explain why. But first, let's do it. Let's put your second finger, your middle one, on 4th string, 2nd fret, ring finger on 3rd string, 2nd fret, and your pinky on 2nd string, 2nd fret, just like so, okay? And when we strum this, we're gonna strum from the 5th string down. So make sure to not hit the 6th string. It'll sound kind of muddy. So just from here down, and that's what you do, okay? And go and test it all out. If the notes are not ringing out perfectly, make sure you're squeezing hard enough, but not so hard that it's hurting your fingertips, okay? Playing the guitar should not hurt your fingertips. Sweet. And if you're just barely beginning, if it doesn't ring out and everything else is fine, sometimes, yes, you need to develop some calluses, and calluses aren't really as much for making sure your fingers don't hurt. It's to help you get up and out of the way, okay? So work with lots of beginners. Again, if your fingers are hurting when you're playing the guitar, you're just squeezing way too hard, okay? So that's how you play this one. And hand like this.
Oh, Vincenzo, insalata caprese.
Your thumb should not be over here, right? Obviously, I think you can see that okay. I'm not doing this. It's right behind. We're right here, thumb's right behind. It can be a little bit higher to help you mute that 6th string. You can also do that. Cool. Now, there's a few other fingerings. I don't recommend these. One, sometimes it's taught like this. We're doing the same notes, except now you're using the strong side of your hand versus the pinky. And the problem is, one of them is we're trying to fit everything into the 2nd fret, and these fingers, of course, are bigger. So if you have bigger fingers, this is going to be a problem. Let's use your smaller fingers, okay? And also, you may notice that this motion right here, E minor, E major, A minor, A major, it's all the same. We keep reinforcing this, and there's lots of other chords that are going to do this. So we're getting a lot of mileage out of that motion, okay? And so highly recommend to not do this one. And the other one would be, sometimes it's taught like this. What happened is I put my 2nd finger here, then my 1st finger on 3rd string 2, and then ring finger on 2nd string 2. And you may be wondering, why on earth would you do that? So sometimes people do it like this because their thinking is, well, you can just then slide back half step and then hit your E major chord. And they're not wrong. Yes, that's a very easy way to make that transition. The problem is, this is a very short-sighted way of learning the guitar. We obviously don't always play A and then play E afterwards. And so even though that is the absolute best for that one teeny tiny thing, we need to have something that's a bit more well-rounded and general for other things, such as, again, your fingers, the finger size, and the sus chords, like A sus2, sus4, where we bounce around on the chords. We need to make very, very quick chord changes. So I'm going to recommend, again, just using those fingers. Now, as far as your technique, make sure the guitar is going up, and we're trying to keep this as straight as possible. Don't jut it out. It's going to bend a little bit, but if you're doing this, you're going to start to ache in here, okay? Cool. If you find I'm going just a little too fast, I have an article that I wrote up on my website about this chord that'll have the chord diagrams, but then also I have a bit more information as far as what chord progressions sound cool with this chord, what keys use the chord, a few songs that are easy enough that you can practice with this, as well as what are the notes inside the chords, that we can really understand what's going on with this chord, and we can level up your guitar playing and your musicianship at the same time. So you may want to check that out. Okay, so now let's move on to the next position. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to your 1st finger on the 6th string 5, ring finger on 5th string 7, pinky on 4th string 7, and then middle finger, 2nd finger on 3rd string 6. And that is it. So we're actually not going to strum strings 1 and 2. We're just going to strum those ones. And so if you know a little bit about bar chords, I'll show you those in a second. This is preparing you to do them, but we're just easing into it. My thumb is right behind that 2nd finger. And what we want to do, and the goal is to get this to be one motion, because if you make your chords going like this, it'll always be 1, 2, 3, 4 motions. They'll always be slow, sloppy. This is going to work, okay? So try to get one motion, and that's that. When you're picking it, You have to get really good at strumming it and then lifting off at the last second so you don't hit those other strings. And maybe even if you're doing this, if you just drop this down slightly, you can mute it like so. All right, so that is the next voicing that we can do. So we have this one, and then we have this one. Next, we're gonna jump up here, and we're gonna go like so. Now, if your chord changes are kind of slow, you may consider checking out my free PDF download and video training on how to speed up your chord changes in less than 30 days. I'll walk you through the process step by step, and we'll fix this problem once and for all. So I'll have a link in the description below, so you can check that out, and let's fix this problem if that is you. Now, the next voicing is super similar. All we're gonna do is leave our fingers right here, but then your index finger, go ahead and push it to the side. So what's happening is your thumb is right behind your second finger and you're squeezing right in, but then your index finger is going to be pushing to the side of it. And now we can go ahead and play strings 1 and 2 on the 5th fret, and we're barring all the way across. Okay, barring of course means we're laying our finger flat and playing a couple notes. Okay, sweet. So now you know the bar chord. Now, jumping over here, we're gonna go over the last two. Kind of the similar concept that I'm gonna go over with you is the first one, we're gonna go like this. So put your first finger on 5th string, 12. Ring finger is gonna go on 14th fret of strings 2, 3, and 4. And we're not gonna worry about barring on this one as far as the index finger goes just yet. But notice what's going on here. I think you can see this. See how that knuckle's kind of high? This knuckle's high, so it's allowing the finger to scoop down in so that it can lay flat and bar those 3 strings. Okay? And then we don't even care about the first string. That's it. Now, strumming this, you may want to have your index finger a little higher. So if you accidentally hit the 6th string, it's going to barely touch it and it won't ring out. All right? That is that. And then the last version is going to be exactly the same, but now I want, as this one pushes straight down in, this is going to go to the side, and it's going to be playing the first string 12. So you're actually doing 2 bars here. You're going the ring fingers barring strings 2, 3, and 4, and your first finger, your index, is barring strings essentially 1 through 5. Okay, great. So now you know 5 ways to play the A major chord on your guitar. We went over the open position, 5th position, and then with the bar, and then 12th position, and then adding in the 2nd bar where this one has essentially 2 bars being used. If you have any questions on this, if the notes aren't ringing out, go ahead and post up in the comment section below. I'll be happy to help and diagnose the problem with you. Or if you need help on something else, go ahead and post up and I'll make another video to help you, and I hope to see you in another video.